Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of how to get rid of heel pain at home. So in part 1 we talked about getting rid of the heel pain before even getting out of bed, or if you've been sitting for a long time before even doing anything, the things and the exercises that you can do. In this part of the video we're going to be talking about exercises that you can do when you're out and about in school, at work, or just moving around the house. So stick with me. If you need a refresher, check out the link above that's going to pop up now and just watch the part 1 of this video and then come back and catch part 2. Welcome, and I hope you subscribe. Another stretch that you could perform is by the wall. So now we've done the belt, we've done the heel against the toe and pulled it as much as possible. When you're now out and about and walking, I'm going to add a video to this. You make sure you find a wall or find a stable surface, and you want to place your toes right against the wall, and you want to lean in, okay? When you lean in, you're again stretching that plantar fascia and trying to give it more flex so it doesn't hurt and doesn't tighten up when you go about walking in your normal gait cycle. If you're working in an office, you're sitting in an office, or you've been sitting for a while, another exercise that you could do literally every hour or every other hour is the same toe one, but what you have to do is get your heel off the floor. Make sure that your toes are nice and flat on the ground, and just act like you're about to stand up. It's almost like you're doing a toe raise, and what that is doing is your toes are nice and flat, you're lifting your heel off the ground, and that will stretch that plantar fascia to give you that feel-good stretch. So you can even do it as you're sitting. If you have a rolling chair, that's even better, but if you don't, that's okay. Just make sure that you're putting your toes nice and flat, and you're making sure that the joints right there is stretching as much as possible. Another specific one that's really, really good for the plantar fascia is when you, this is gonna be a very involved one. So what you're going to do is you're going to kneel, but when you kneel, you want to make sure that your toes are fanned out and flat across the floor. And you're going to try to sit as low as you can. Maybe a little difficult. You can start by kneeling up straight, but then if you lower yourself, you're putting a little bit more weight down, and that's really going to give it more of a stretch. Again, the idea is just you're giving that plantar band a lot of stretch and a lot of give so that it can really, really, start to tolerate all of the movement and the excess movement you may be having, or the lack of movement, depending on the etiology of the plantar fasciitis. Another stretch that you can do is if you have a staircase or some sort of stair or any sort of elevation, okay? What you do is you stand on that stair using the ball of your foot, okay? When you use the ball of you stand on it, and then make sure that you are stable, you're holding on to something. You don't want to do this alone, especially if you're not comfortable doing it. Make sure you're holding on to someone or to something. When you stand with the ball of your foot, then you drop down low, okay? You drop down low and you hold it for 30 seconds. A lot of this, you hold it for 30 seconds. If it's pretty hard, start with 10 seconds, then increase to 15, increase to 20, increase to 25, and then 30 seconds. And you want to have like between 3 to 5 reps of this, okay? You let it down low, count to 30, and you come back up. You can also do both of it at the same time. Both balls of your foot on the edge of the step, lower them down, count to 30, and bring them back up, okay? Do that as much as possible. That stretches the Achilles tendon. And remember, we talked about the etiology of, this plantar fasciitis. So it really stretches that Achilles tendon when you perform that exercise. Another exercise to really stretch the Achilles tendon is, again, you find the side of the wall. Make sure that one leg is in front and the other leg is behind, okay? And when that's been done, make sure your knee is nice and locked and that entire leg is straight. When you see that the entire leg is straight, what you will then do, make sure that your foot that is out and behind is flat on the floor, and then your heel is also on the floor. And what you do is then you push against the wall, making sure that that leg that's behind is coming or is attempting to come towards the foot. That's really going to stretch that Achilles tendon, stretch it as much as possible. It stretches the gastroc muscles a lot. Now, to stretch the soleus muscle, like we mentioned, the soleus and the gastroc have tendons that form the Achilles tendon. You're going to unlock your knee a little bit, just a touch, and then you push some more. Now you should start to feel the stretch a little further down. You should start to feel that now. It's that good stretchy feeling, okay? If you've done both of these stretches and you do not feel that it was, you didn't feel that stretch, perhaps the perhaps the plantar fasciitis is of a different etiology other than, tight Achilles tendon. But a lot of the times, 80 to 90% of the time, it's because of that tight Achilles tendon that's going on. If it is plantar fasciitis, that's usually one of the things that's causing it. So if you perform this stretch, it'll really help. Hold for 30 seconds. Again, 3 to 5 reps. If you do that 3 to 5 times a day, I tell you, I can guarantee you almost, you're going to see results. And of course, last but not least, some of the things that you could definitely do is to wear good supportive shoes. If you're having plantar fasciitis, a lot of the times flat shoes, flat sandals, flip-flops are not the best, and they just aid in stretching that plantar fascia. I know that we have over-the-counter orthotics and things like that are even specific for plantar fasciitis. You can try those out, and if those work for you, go ahead and wear them, and make sure you wear them all the time. I'd also say avoid going around with barefoot, because that doesn't really help. Again, we've talked about how when you step down flat, it really stretches that plantar fascia and aggravates those micro tears. So make sure that you're not walking around flat-footed. I'll put a couple links down below for some of the inserts that I really like that you can get, you can buy over the counter. And there are some house shoes or some slippers that you can wear that have some decent arch supports in them. When you're wearing arch supports, this is my recommendation. Make sure they're not flexible, they're not flimsy. If they're flimsy, those are just, cushions, which could help, but they're not going to last long. You want something that's a little firm, okay? And then when you're going to wear those, make sure that you break them in. If you buy it on day 1 and you wear it 8 hours, your foot is going to scream at you. Your foot is going to yell at you and be in severe amount of pain. You have to break them in. And my recommendation is the first day you wear it for 1 hour, you take it off. The second day you wear it for 2 hours and you take it off. The third day, and consequently like that. You're going to keep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till you get to about 8 hours and you can start wearing it. Especially if you're on your feet a lot, that's really going to help. If you get a nice firm orthotic, you can't bend it, you can't squeeze it, it's nice and firm. It's going to feel like it's too hard, but it should be okay. As long as it's plantar fasciitis that you have, you're doing your stretches, you're breaking the orthotic or the inserts in appropriately. If you do all these things religiously, I can guarantee you that in a month or 2, you would be completely done. Now, sometimes some people will need a little extra help in the process of anti-inflammatories and things like that. At that point, definitely see your foot doctor, you see your specialist, and they'll take care of you. But other than that, if you do the stretches really well, they should definitely help a majority of plantar fasciitis problems out there. Thank you guys for sticking with me. Again, this is mostly what I do. I mean, there are other things that we do, but of course at that point you're coming to see me in the office, and then I would treat that. But if you have any questions, if you have any comments, leave them down below. If you liked this video, please share it with your friends. Please share it with your family. We'll really appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and let me know down there as well. Do you have other videos that you would like for me to make for you guys? Do you have other tips? Do you have other questions? Again, leave them down below. Thank you for sticking with the Fly Foot Doctor. Till next time, I'll see you later.